Hi, I'm Gary LaFrancois of OldBadassDrummer.net, and today's tutorial is going to be about how to achieve simple, even double strokes without too much brain damage. So let's get started. We're going to start with the left hand, and I want you to notice that the relationship between the pad and the hand is not necessarily perpendicular. Perpendicular in this case, because the pad is slanted, would be a little bit more like this. So it's a little bit off to the left, but not laying this way. Okay, so it's a little more up. Now the stick is going to be resting between the fulcrum, or not the fulcrum, but the saddle or balance point between the thumb and index finger, and the tip of the third ring finger. The index finger is going to come and it's going to plant itself kind of between those two spots, kind of like this. Now, what's going to happen is the third and fourth finger are going to aim towards this part of your palm. When they do that, the stick falls and bounces to the surface of the drum. It's important to try to keep the index finger in the position it's in and not to open the index finger up. Lots of great players use that technique to get a bounce, but for what I'm teaching here, what we're going to be doing is concentrating on just dropping the bottom off of the grip, like so. Now what we're going to do next is going to catch the stick by immediately replacing the third and fourth finger to the bottom of the stick. Now you will notice some motion of the hand and these fingers, but that is to be expected simply because all the stuff is connected by skin. I mean, it's not like a bunch of independent pieces, all right? So the idea is just to get the stick to bounce 2 times, and I want you to really put that third and fourth finger back up underneath the stick. If it's a problem for you to get this basic coordination together, then what you can do is you can leave the stick tip on the surface, and you can just practice moving the third and fourth finger in that manner without worrying about the drumstick. So we catch the stick after 2 bounces, and that motion is going to be continued to bring the stick into the upright position. Okay? So here we go. Up, up. Okay, now we're going to start with the tip of the stick up, come down and get a double bounce, and then bring it up. Now we'll put both motions together, and you have a double stroke, or a double stroke, using a full stroke and an actual rebound. So you can concentrate on different stick heights, but it's all going to work out to be about the same thing. So the right hand. The important relationship is going to be the middle finger and the thumb. It's not going to be the thumb and index finger. It's going to be the middle finger and the thumb. You can see that if you're holding the stick correctly, and that would be that the index finger is going to be, or excuse me, the nail bed of the middle finger is going to be across from the middle joint of the thumb, like this. It's going to give you a little bit of a gap right here, and the index finger is just a guide. And we worked on this in a previous video. So we come down, and it bounces, and we take a look at that same relationship, and now look where it is. The middle finger bed has moved from this knuckle joint to up here, across from this one. And when you replace the stick, it'll go back, it'll slide back into place. That's what should occur, okay? Just like that. For me, this is the grip that I kind of favor. Middle finger fits nicely, thumb and index finger. Third finger is kind of there. It's not really as on as a middle finger. And my pinky finger doesn't really make it onto the stick, so I don't want to stretch it down there to try to make it look right. This is where it feels most comfortable. And this is really all you need to control the stick, is just these different points of contact. So we drop down, we get the big bounce, let the stick bounce out, pick it back up again. And when you pick it back up again, make sure you're using all the fingers, well, the fourth, third, or rather the index, middle, and ring finger. I'm having a hard time with my anatomy today. Picking it up, dropping it down. Okay, so when you're comfortable doing that, and one other thing, you are going to flex this muscle a little bit. You are going to push the thumb into the stick and the stick into the index finger. There will be no reciprocation of pulling the trying to pinch back with the index finger or wrap with the index finger. I don't want you doing that. If you wrap with the index finger, you're automatically impeding the upward motion of the stick. Okay, and you should be able to control that with just the middle finger. All right, but that's a discussion for another time. All right, so we're going to stop this after 2 bounces, and we did it by just simply closing the back of the hand. You'll notice that when I close the back of the hand, the stick is actually traveling down for a 3rd strike. And that's what I want. That gives 2 good bounces. And finally, what I want you to do, instead of worrying about catching it after the 3rd strike, or what I want you to think about, rather, is pushing the wrist down into the stick. You can kind of hear it a little bit, I think. And when it catches up to itself, you're getting 2 even bounces and a full stroke, just like we did with the left hand. Now let's put these guys together. The quickest and most direct way of putting the hands together would be to utilize something called the 8-count roll exercise. And that consists of 8 full strokes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, followed by 8 bounces. Should be easy enough. But if you're having a problem, just single hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Like so. Then you put them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. So you can see how working on them separately would work, help you with that, getting an exercise together. So it's something that's going to take a little bit of time to work on. It won't be as quick as this short tutorial. But hopefully it gives you an insight as to where you may be having problems with your double stroke roll, or possibly a fresh perspective as to how to go about building that building block, foundational building block of drumming. I'm going to teach you one more thing. It's called the tap roll. A tap roll is simply, you're playing a roll, but you're going to put a tap in front of it. What that does, even if you don't accent it, even if it's just, it automatically evens out the sound of the roll. It puts the weak part of that stroke on a strong beat and the strong part of the stroke on a weak beat. Kind of evens it out a little bit. Another way to practice the double stroke roll, once you get your hands under you and you can play the 8-count roll exercise, would be to practice the roll using a triplet pattern, like 1 ola, 2 ola, 3 ola, 4 ola, 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 1 ola, like so. Stick at it, keep going, don't stop, don't give up. Until next time, I'm Gary LaFrancois, oldbadassdrummer.net. Thank you so much for watching.